Hi everyone. I'm sure that you're all aware of the overturning of Roe versus Wade by now, not to mention the protests and riots over it and the way that the Democrats, leftists, and the mainstream media are supporting it and covering it. I just thought I'd put in my 2 cents on this. And I do want to apologize if you have a hard time understanding me. It's because I'm having fun with a chest cold right now. Okay, and first of all, let me go ahead and tell you that I'm pro-life with a twist. I don't like abortions per se, but you do you. A lot of people who are pro-abortion use the mantra of, well, what about rape or incest? Those cases are less than 1% of all abortion cases each year. When you take into account of those cases where the life of the mother is at risk or other health issues, or also birth defects and whatnot, that brings it up to less than 5%. I'll have links in the description. But those who are pro-abortion who want to do it up to 9 months, you're nuts. I'll have more on that later. But now, Democrats, leftists, and the mainstream media are all screaming their collective heads off over the Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade and another case. They're saying that it's illegitimate, that it's the Handmaid's Tale, that it sets us back to the 1950s, that it's banning abortion, that it's opening a way to banning gay marriage, blah blah blah. Let's address this, shall we? Just first off, the Supreme Court did not, I repeat, not ban abortion. Period. End of story. They said it was not a constitutional right, and that if you want it to be legal, it should be codified by your state and federal legislatures, to be written into law for and by the people. Those states that allow abortion, you still have it. Others that have some restrictions may just keep those restrictions or make them tighter, or maybe ban abortions, but that is from state by state. Just if you want to make it legal, or keep it legal, or have it available nationwide, talk to your state and federal representatives. Now, let me talk about the Democrats and some Republicans have talked about Roe versus Wade and have been referring to emanations and penumbras in grandiose terms, but they never, ever explain what those terms mean or what the whole theory or idea means. They just expect you to bobblehead along with them and let it pass. Guess what? I'm going to explain what that whole entire situation means to you and why they were saying that this Roe versus Wade case and the other case has, why the Emanations of Penumbras theory and whatever means to you. In Griswold versus Connecticut, Justice William O. Douglas says, specific guarantees in the Bill of Rights have penumbras, formed by emanations from those guarantees that help give them life and substance. In legalese, he's basically saying they're like fireflies. They're glowing they're actually physical, they're actually existing, glowing to help give each other existence. He goes on to say that earlier constitutional rights support each other and wouldn't have force if they didn't, and the latter ones get support from them because of that. It doesn't matter that they were all individual rights specified in the Constitution and Bill of Rights anyway, because of those emanations of penumbras. So even though abortion and contraception rights aren't listed in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights, well, bibbity bobbity boo, I'm your fairy godfather, and it's in there somewhere because I say it does. And I'll provide links to the theory and the theory of penumbras and the emanations of penumbras in the Wikipedia page as well. I'm not joking, that's exactly what he's saying, and how he acted towards abortion and the contraception. Let me go ahead and go back to abortion law. You'll notice that Democrats and some Republicans are all up in arms about supporting abortion, but then they'll turn around and run like hell away from codifying it into law. Why? Because it puts their feet to the fire on just how far they'll go on abortion and what they're willing to support. Reporters have repeatedly asked them, do you support abortion up to 9 months, up to the point of birth? And they'll dodge that question like a professional ballerina on meth. You can find dozens of clips of them doing exactly that on YouTube and other places. A lot of their own constituents don't support abortion up to 9 months. But the violent, vocal, crazy crackpots on Twitter and TV do. And they want their support too. The insane thing is, there are states that already have laws on the books that allow abortions up to the moment of birth with no restrictions. None. Alaska, the District of Columbia, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, and Vermont. Even scarier, from the way things are worded on the Colorado's law, you could abort your baby up to 28 days after birth. And Maryland has introduced a bill to join them, and joining Colorado in the way things are phrased. And the Democratic Virginia governor supports abortion after birth. I'll also provide links proving all of this as well. Now it is on to something different. Just vandalism, riots, and arson. Oh my. Just people are protesting and rioting. Some don't understand why they're protesting. Some misunderstand what they're protesting about. Others just want to see the world burn. Then we have groups like Jane's Revenge. Why in the world are they saying that non-profit pregnancy centers to help expectant mothers are somehow a threat or violent against abortions? How exactly? They don't get any state or federal assistance like Planned Parenthood does, but they should. They help with mothers with preparing for their upcoming child, prenatal care, baby supplies, and so forth. So why exactly does Jane's Revenge vandalize, burn down, and spike parking lots of these places? Oh, right. Because they hate life and families. The same reason why they do it to churches, any churches, because they hate God too. The people in this kind of group need to be declared domestic terrorist group and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Period. Those who are out rioting over this, you have got to stop. It doesn't serve any purpose at all, except to destroy your own neighborhoods, businesses, and property in a time where inflation is already through the roof and supply chain disruptions are already too common. We need to be working to try and fix our country and neighborhoods, not tear it apart. If you're upset about what happened, peacefully protest. Don't wreck things, got it? But you also need to understand what you're protesting over. The Supreme Court isn't supposed to make laws, but to interpret them and their constitutionality. Not to mention if the court cases were done properly and according to our Constitution. That's exactly what was done here. It corrected a previous judicial error and told legislatures to legislate. It told them to do their jobs. They haven't been doing much of that lately, now have they? Peace.